Hello, hello, my lovely, beautiful Aquarians. Welcome back to the channel today. We are going to be doing the weekly readings for April 8th through the 21st. Excuse me. We are starting off on April 8th. We have a new moon happening in the sign of Aries. And this new moon is very special because it coincides with a solar eclipse. Now, what's so special about a solar eclipse? Well, they don't happen too often. They do happen fairly regularly, but they don't happen super often. And the thing about eclipses is that they signal big times of transformation for ourselves and for our world, basically. So with that being said, there is this idea of change, this idea of things shifting. Normally when we work with moon magic, right, on new moons we set intentions. It's almost like planting a seed of intention that grows as the moon grows throughout the month. When we reach a full moon, it's the time of harvest, right? We expect this expansion to happen. And it grows and grows and grows until it reaches a point of fullness, almost like a ripe fruit. You know, we plant the seed on the new moon, and on the full moon we harvest, right? So with that, a eclipse is happening on a new moon, right? The solar eclipse. So this is a great time to set intentions, to set a large intention. This is not small intentions. This is something that is being set that is with the intention of transforming you or the world around you over the course of these next 6 months. Because eclipses happen kind of on like a 6-month cycle, right? When you think about it, if you think about it, this is happening on the Aries-Libra axis. We just had a lunar eclipse in Aries, and now we have a solar eclipse in Libra 2 weeks later. Well, 6 months from now, when the sun is in Libra, we're going to have a Libra eclipse happen and an Aries eclipse. With that being said, this is an intention that's going to come to fruition over the course of the next 6 months. So, as we said, this is big shifts, big transformations happening at this time. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to take a look at your oracle cards first to start off, Aquarius. Your first one here is the Electric Eel Spirit, which says, bring your ideas to life. So yeah, Aquarius, you are kind of a visionary of the zodiac, right? You are someone who kind of gets this reputation about being a little bit odd or working outside of the realms of like traditionality. You're the groundbreaker. You're the one who isn't afraid to be different, and you recognize that your difference is your superpower. You being different is something that is really important for this world, and you're not afraid to be different. Bring your ideas to life. You know, there are ideas, things within your life that may seem a little bit unconventional, but it is still something that is important to you. And bringing these ideas to life is going to be like a big theme for you, trusting your ability to make these things happen for you over these next 6 months. Your next card is the Turtle Spirit, which says, slow and steady wins the race. So yeah, as we said, this is an intention that is expanding over these next 6 months. This is not an intention that is going to happen like that, right? This is not something that is instant gratification. It's something that's going to take work. It's going to take time and energy. And slow and steady wins the race. Don't go into it and run yourself dry and end up in a place of like wearing yourself out or burning out, I should say. And then your next card here, Aquarius, is the Sandpiper Spirit, which says, be playful. So have fun with it. You know, your ideas don't have to be serious. I mean, yes, take it seriously, but you don't have to go at it from a place of being overly serious. Allow yourself to be playful. Playfulness encourages our creativity. It encourages our creative selves, and being playful is actually the times when we can find that we are most creative and most connected with like our inner child, especially. So be playful, allow yourself to have fun with this idea that you're bringing to life. Allow yourself to, you know, have a good time with it. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on your cards here. Starting off, Aquarius, you have the Three of Wands. Now, as we said, this is a solar eclipse happening on April 8th, and this first card here is actually April 8th. This card represents April 8th. So, I like to think that this card represents the intention that you're setting for these next 6 months with this eclipse. And the Three of Wands in reverse is actually like taking a step back, taking a moment, taking a pause from making decisions so that we can take a look at where we're going. It's like a time of evaluation. So instead of making decisions, instead of taking action, trying to push ourselves in one direction, it's like we take a pause from being in the driver's seat for a little bit and we just take a look around and make sure that our actions are aligning with where we want to go, that we are making actions based off of, what we believe in and how we feel. Bring your ideas to life, and this card is like taking a moment to make sure that your actions are aligned with your ideas and where you want to go. So, the next 6 months, you could find that it can be like almost a little frustrating taking a break from making decisions. It can be a little frustrating feeling like we're not being productive enough towards our goals and aspirations. But really, like, this time period of evaluation is a really important part of the process, so don't skip out on it. Your next card here, Aquarius, is the Wheel of Fortune, which signals that there are positive changes happening for you at this time. There is positive stuff being brought in for you. Positive things about your luck, your attitude, your community, things like that. It shifts a changing of the tides in a way. So the Wheel of Fortune is things shifting, things changing, the changing of the tides. So, go with the flow at this time. Don't be discouraged from where things are going. And in fact, this is a positive change. This is a positive change, a positive signal of your energy at this time, Aquarius. I would say that this is kind of the moment that shifts the tides where you kind of say to yourself, like, okay, I'm not going to take this too seriously. This almost feels like the moment of playfulness. Yeah, this does kind of feel like that moment of allowing more playfulness into your life. It's also kind of about fate. It's like the flow of fate. We don't have control about the things happening in the world to us. Sometimes things happen and we do have control. Sometimes things happen and it's a direct result of our actions. But we also have moments where it's like stuff happens around us and it's not because of anything that we have done, right? And so the Wheel of Fortune is kind of this piece of fate, karma, whatever it is that you want to call it, moving through our life. Your next card here is the Three of Pentacles. So we have the Three of Wands and now we have the Three of Pentacles. This does signal positive synergy for you. So you can feel very connected at this time. And this is actually a positive flow of energy between different aspects of your life, of the self. So, between work, family, and yourself, a good flow of energy between the three, signaling that you're having a good balance between work life, family life, and, self-care. This is also just good synergy between friends and, even coworkers, especially because this is Pentacles. A good flow of money as well, too. Trusting the universe to provide for you, having that good flow between give and take and abundance, really. Following the Three of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is kind of an interesting card because it's about higher learning, higher education sometimes. It's also about tradition and the way that things have always been done. And sometimes it can be, because of higher education, it can be about a teacher. So some of you could be entering a time where you are allowing yourself to be a student of life, or a student of like an actual person. Some of you may be considering going to college for some sort of degree. For your idea, some of you could be pursuing a teacher of some sort, someone who's going to help guide you towards this idea that you're trying to build for yourself. Taking a pause from making decisions towards that goal and taking the time to like educate yourself better along the way so that you can, be assured that you're making the right choices. The Hierophant's also about tradition as well, too. And I mean, Aquarius, we did say that you are someone who works outside of tradition, but sometimes you have to be within it for a little bit to understand why you might not want it. Or sometimes it can, tradition can provide a good model to you for how to do certain things. But I feel like, Aquarius, you always kind of have this way of putting a little twist on it, putting your own personal twist on it. Aquarius, your next card here is the Knight of Cups in reverse. So, this is kind of an interesting one. The Knight of Cups in reverse, some of you could be feeling as though you are lacking in emotional fulfillment at this time. You could be pursuing this piece of education because you're feeling uninspired right now. You could be trying to find an answer. It's interesting because you had these other cards here that kind of show a positive synergy. You have Wands, you have Pentacles, and then you have Cups, right? And Cups is the emotion. So while you have other pieces going good for you, your inspiration and this good flow of resources, it's almost as if you're missing this emotional aspect of it. You're missing that piece that made you fall in love with this in the first place. I mean, the Sandpiper spirit, be playful. This is really you kind of, disconnected from that creativity, disconnected from that playfulness. So, again, a reminder to allow yourself some time to be playful, be creative. The Knight of Cups is it's really the things that we fall in love with, right? It's the things that fill up our cup emotionally. And the Knight of Cups can sometimes it's about partners. It's about a new love interest bringing something in for you. But I feel it's almost as if you're waiting for that love for this thing to come back. What made you fall in love with this idea? Bring your ideas to life. What idea are you bringing to life, right? And I feel as though with that Knight of Cups in reverse, it's you're disconnected from what made you fall in love with this idea in the first place. So, you could be trying to pursue this higher education to find some sort of spark or ignition or, revival of your commitment, your love towards this idea or opportunity. Following the Knight of Cups in reverse, you have the Hanged Woman in reverse. We've had a couple other signs get this card this week. We talked a little bit before about taking a step away from making decisions, and that's kind of what the Hanged Woman is. In a way, this is a person who is straddling the line between life and death. This card actually represents the last breath of life before we die, before we move into death, because the card directly following this is death. It's the Death card. And so this is that moment where, they say that life flashes before your eyes before you die. And so this is that contemplation of looking back on our life, being in this place of stillness. This, they say that last breath can feel like an eternity. We experience so much in that moment. And there's so much that happens, even though it feels like a very, very short time period. It happens, and then we're moving on to the next phase. And you can never come back from death. Once you die, you are gone, right? And so this is that moment where we're kind of straddled between these two worlds. We know that we're about ready to have this transformation or this glow up. We know that we're about ready to enter this new phase. And, in the reverse, this card can kind of mean that you're not ready to go. You feel like you're about ready to shift, and it's kind of this uncomfortableness where it's I don't want to go. I want to still be here. I don't want to move on just yet. I like where I'm at. But it's time, right? It's time. It's kind of what this is saying, is that, you don't resist this change. Don't resist this new transition. Things can feel a little bit wonky, a little bit weird, but this is really signaling that space between the two, that kind of lull or that little bit of weightlessness that happens in between. So you may find yourself in this period of pause, but don't resist when it's time, when you get that signal that it's time to move on to the next thing. Following the Hanged Woman in reverse, you have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Now this card is about most of the time it's about work. It's about the hard work that we put in towards building something. Aquarius, I feel like this is saying that you've been putting in a lot of work towards something, but maybe you haven't quite seen the result that you want yet. Slow and steady wins the race with that turtle spirit. I mean, this card, if you're feeling like you have to build, go, 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 if you've been feeling very focused on the outcome and trying so hard to get there faster, by working your butt off and, burning yourself out, this card is saying, like, if you don't slow down, you might approach burnout. So take a breath. Don't overwork yourself at this time. Don't, slave away too hard and forget to enjoy the things in life that are important. Slow and steady wins the race, and be playful. Don't forget to make time. Take time away from how hard you are working, Aquarius. Take time away from working yourself till you bleed, really. Take time to enjoy life. Enjoy the things around you. And don't get so caught up in work and trying to make one thing work that you forget to enjoy the good things within life. Let's talk about week 2 here. Starting off on week 2, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. This card is about perspective, and it's about pessimism versus optimism. Sometimes it means that we need to shift our perspective from one to, well, I don't want to say one to the other, because we really don't want to get stuck in pessimism, right? But it's also making sure that we are, not looking at things through rose-colored glasses, making sure that we're being truthful. So when you look at the card this way, right, this card has like a sunrise, there's still light available, and there's 3 cups in the upright and only 2 pouring out. So you have more positive cups than negative cups. It's about looking at the glass half full, making sure that you are, being optimistic about things, while also still having this sense of realness of, like, yes, honor the things that you have lost, but make sure that you don't lose sight of the things that you do still have. And on the flip side, this card shows like a darkness. It shows a dark sky with no stars. And we have only 2 cups in the upright and 3 cups in the reverse. And this is saying, looking at things from a glass half empty perspective. And so, we don't want to get stuck in, obviously allow yourself time to mourn losses, but don't get so caught up in what you have lost or missed out on that you end up missing out on the good things too. So, on one hand, make sure that you're being truthful, that you're not giving a thing too much of your power. Make sure that you're not too focused on the good things, that you try to ignore or discredit the places that maybe, I almost feel like sometimes it can be like ignoring grief in a way, almost as if like you, like toxic positivity, don't fall onto the upper positive side from a place of like toxic positivity, but also don't fall into like victim mindset and forget like all the good things that are still happening for you. Following the 5 of Cups in reverse, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. This is about moving away from anxiety. When this card shows up, it's saying that, like, yes, anxiety and anxious thoughts may still be here and occurring for you, but you are no longer allowing it the space to harm you, and no longer allowing it to take your energy, really, to control you and your actions. So if you've been struggling with anxiety, this is sometimes you pushing through that. And even though you're still anxious, you're still showing up, right? If you're anxious about driving a car, this is you still getting in the driver's seat even when you're anxious and still saying, hey, I'm going to give it a try anyway. I'm going to push myself, not from like harm. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to give myself the opportunity to push through my anxiety a little bit. And I'm not going to allow it to control me. So even though anxiety may still be present, it's saying that, you're not giving it the ability to control you at this time. Especially if you're anxious about like things working out, or maybe the way that things didn't work out in the past, This is you saying, okay, I understand that things didn't work out maybe the way I intended the first time. However, I'm not going to let that keep me from living my life. And I'm not going to let it keep me from the future I want for myself. Moving on from the Nine of Swords in reverse, you have the Empress. This is about, you actually have the Empress and you have the Queen of Pentacles further on. And these both kind of have pretty similar energy to me. The Empress is someone who is very abundant. This is someone who is able to grow something from their own like positive energy. The Queen of Pentacles is similar in the sense of like she is the gardener. She's the planter of this seed. Because a pentacle kind of represents like a seed, right? The seed that we plant for opportunity. But the Empress is the one with the magic to actually create the growth, right? The Queen of Pentacles is the gardener. She knows how to plant the seed, how to tend to the seed and give it the most optimal growing conditions. But the Empress is actually the grower. She's the one who has the magic and the ability to actually affect the growth of the seed. You know, if you can give a plant, you can give a seed all of the things that it needs, but the growth happens internally. And the Empress is the one who is able to affect that internal growth. So Aquarius, you do have the ability to grow, not just yourself, but to grow this opportunity. Bring your ideas to life. I mean, this is like the person who is able to do that. This is a person, the giver of life. Oftentimes this is representative of like the mother of the major arcana, right? And so, you know, a mother is someone who gives life. They grow life within themselves and birth it into reality. And that's kind of what you're doing with your dreams and your ambitions, Aquarius, is that you are the Empress. You are the grower of these dreams. You're the one who carries this dream inside of you and births it into reality for yourself. So stay connected with this idea of growth. Stay connected with your idea that you want. Take the time. Trust that you have the ability to grow this. And, you know, trust yourself, really. I mean, essentially, that's the whole reading here. Trust yourself, Aquarius. Trust that you have the ability to grow this. Following the Empress, you have the King of Wands in reverse. So, I mean, these are two very opposite energies. The King of Wands in the upright is normally a person who is very confident about their ability to achieve something. Whatever they want, they trust that they are able to go out and get it at any point. Now, with this being in the reverse, I mean, when this card shows up at all, again, it's kind of like that, where is it? Oh, maybe I didn't, When this card shows up at all, right, it's saying that this energy is present for you, even though this is in the reverse, right? So it's saying that this energy is available for you to tap into, but there's some sort of blockage that is keeping you from seeing this energy or seeing this truth about yourself, Aquarius. So the wands are manifestation. It's our ability to take something, our thought within our mind, and to bring it into reality with magic, right? It's almost like the Empress is the person who is able to create this growth, and the King of Wands in reverse is like the person who doubts their ability to do this, doubts their ability to create this growth. So that's what I mean when I say that it's kind of opposite energy from the Empress. You know, the Empress is someone who trusts their ability, but the King of Wands is someone who kind of runs into some doubt about their ability to manifest this. So I'm going to say it again, Aquarius, you know, trust your ability to create this growth. Trust your ability to see this thing for yourself. Moving on from the King of Wands in reverse, you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is about the things that we give merit to within our life. It's deep contemplation about the things that we carry with us, our thoughts, our actions, our opinions, our morals, our beliefs. It's contemplating why these things are within our lives, the things that we carry with us. And with this evaluation comes the ability, or the opportunity, I should say, to either continue to carry this with you or to let something go. It's taking stock of the things that you have. So if you realize that you have been carrying some old beliefs with you, the Eight of Cups is your opportunity to let these things go and to only keep around the things that provide you emotional growth, emotional fulfillment. You know, it like getting rid of old thought patterns that no longer serve you. And the Eight of Cups is really that contemplation about like, what are you going to keep carrying with you? What are you going to leave behind that's no longer serving you? Moving on from the Eight of Cups, we move to the Queen of Pentacles. Now, we did kind of talk about this a little bit, but yeah, the pentacle represents a seed that the queen is able to grow, right? And as we said, the queen is the gardener. So this is a person who prepares their world, prepares the way, prepares their, they prepare the soil. They make sure that it has all the nutrients needed, that this plant is, or this seed is planted somewhere where it gets proper light. And it's also planted somewhere that it gets proper water. You know, they're the one who tends to the seed so that the seed can grow. So, you know, this person does have expertise in that way. You know, you have to have experience to be able to know what exactly this seed needs. You have to know, you have to do some research and be able to plant this in, you know, the proper environment. So really this is you, Aquarius, especially, like, I feel like this is connected to that Hierophant, getting the higher learning, getting the education about what you need. The Queen of Pentacles is the gardener. So you are the gardener. You're the one who's taking the look, getting the research done so that you are able to go out and plant this seed, plant this intention for yourself, for your life, for your ideas, so that you can, you know, see this thing actualized, birthed into your reality. Now, Aquarius, let's talk about your last card here. This one's really special because you have the Star card in reverse. The Star card is actually the card that is associated with Aquarius. So Aquarius, this is you. This is you showing up in your own reading in the very last spot here. And you're showing up in the reverse. So it can kind of signal this disconnection between who you are and who you think you are. I almost feel like it's like you're not seeing yourself. You're not seeing yourself for how special you are. Like a star shining bright in the sky, right? This star is normally something that lights up the darkness. It gives us hope, and it helps guide us through these dark times, right? The stars have been used for thousands of years for navigation, way before we ever had things like compasses or GPS, right? The stars were kind of like the original GPS for people. And so it was this guiding light within the darkness. When you can't see, it's the thing that you focus on that gets you towards where you want to be. Aquarius, this is you. So maintain your focus on who you really are. See yourself for the truth of who you are. Reconnect with, you know, the thing that is guiding you. This is really like not seeing yourself and not seeing like how special you are, Aquarius. Not seeing the light that you shine, that you carry for yourself. And even like, you know, it's almost as if this light is shining and it inspires other people, Aquarius. I mean, you inspire other people to live their life, to do their own thing, shine brightly by themselves. And, you know, it doesn't make the other stars less important. It doesn't make the other stars less bright. You shining yours, you know, it's you shine yours and they can shine theirs too. And I just feel like it's, you know, it's a reminder that you need to reconnect with really who you are. You need to reconnect with that sense of self. Because it's almost as if you have like a moment where you kind of like lose faith in yourself a little bit, Aquarius. So anyway, we're going to finish off this reading here with a card from The Universe Has Your Back. I really want to leave you with like a positive message from the universe, some sort of guidance and inspiration to help you stay positive through these times and to remind you of the ways that the universe is constantly supporting you along your journey. We're going to shuffle one more time. All right, Aquarius, let's see what you got. There we go. Okay. So the first card we pulled out says, obstacles are detours in the right direction. So even if you come across things that are, you know, feel like obstacles at the moment, it's really trying to help steer you where you're supposed to go. They say that obstacles are divine protection, divine redirection towards where you're meant to be. And I'm reminded of like those I mean, we've all probably heard a story or two of like how being 5 minutes late leaving the house one day saves you from like a really bad car wreck on the road that day. Almost as if like in the moment what feels like something really, really frustrating, keeping you, I'm gonna be late, you get caught up in all these like negative thoughts about like missing something, and it really ends up actually like saving you. So, don't get discouraged if you do come up don't get discouraged if you do come up against obstacles at this time, Aquarius. Trust that you are being led and divinely guided towards where you're meant to be. And then your last card says, I am the dreamer of my dream. So yeah, bring your ideas to life. I am the dreamer. You are the dreamer, Aquarius. You are the one who holds the vision for what you want. You are the one who holds the vision for your future, for yourself. And you are the dreamer of your dream. You are the one who sees. You are the only one who will know specifically the exact details of your dream, because it's only you who can do it, Aquarius. You are the only one who can bring this dream to life. And really, like, you're the one who holds this piece within your mind's eye. You're the one who holds that piece, that dream. And allow that dream to be your guiding light through the darkness, through the obstacles. Stay focused. Stay connected with your dream. Stay connected with yourself. Your true self, Aquarius. So that is where I'm going to leave your reading for these next 2 weeks, Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to seeing you all again next week.